Western Kansas, God's country. This is the perfect intersection of land and sky in a straight line like you've never seen before. I'm just a smidge east of Dodge City, Kansas. Dodge City, the ultimate cow town, the ultimate frontier town without law, without order. Place where cowboys came, drove their cattle, and then wasted their money on bordellos and booze. I'm inside now a giant grain elevator, which represents another primary business of Kansas, the milling, the production of grain to feed cattle, to send out to the world. This grain elevator, in this grain elevator, trucks would come in. They'd come in and dump their grain in this hole right here into an underground area. The grain itself would be elevated by this mechanism right here. See these little cups? They would bring the lower chamber, grain from the lower chamber, all the way up to the top of this silo. Very simple operation, and the center of it is this lever right here. This lever that hasn't been touched in 65 years. Shall I try it? If we go to the start position, it should start. Then we go to the run position, and it runs. The elevator elevates, grain is brought in and made available to the railroad. At a later date, the railroad would come along, a car would come along, and through this chute right here, grain would be deposited in a hopper car. The cycle is complete. This lever here is used to actuate the operation. You actuate by pushing the lever in this direction. That was the center of all the operation. Now I'd like to show you a little bit more of Kansas just outside my door. It won't take long because there ain't much to see here. Here you have another grain elevator, also abandoned. And over here we have the highway and the railroad. The railroad, coming through the 1860s and 1850s, brought civilization to Kansas. With the coming of the railroad, Kansas was able to ship out its primary products. And its products were cattle, driven in primarily from Texas along the Chisholm Trail. Kansas also produced grain, and that's the reason for these grain elevators here. Here's the grain elevator I come from. Quite an impressive little relic. And here's the railroad that the grain was sent out on. That's the railroad that came through here in 1860. Down in that direction is Wichita, and down the other direction, Dodge City. Now I've shown you just about all there is to show you out here in the middle of nowhere. As you can see, there's one other grain elevator, but there's a lot of emptiness out here. A lot of loneliness. A man can be what he wants to be if he knows what he wants to be. Now, if you don't know what he wants to be, I recommend you take this train to either New York or Los Angeles, where a man doesn't have to be what he wants to be. Man doesn't have to be a man. Man can be a woman if a man wants to be. Honestly, don't recommend this place to anyone. I can't see why you would live here. But it's Kansas, and that's the way it is. That's about all I have to say about Kansas. I'm here. It's flat. That's all there is. See you later.